Shelf life. Nora liked the hum of fluorescent lights. It was steady and impartial, a single note reassurance in the late hours when the city reduced itself to silhouettes and neon ticks. Nights at Holloway's were simple. Stack a pallet, fold cereal displays, make the discount detergent look respectable. She needed the overtime money she sent to her mother. The routines kept her from thinking too much. Tonight the clock above the deli read 1:13 a.m. The front doors had been locked at midnight. Evelyn, the manager with laugh lines like spiderwebs, handed Nora the keys, the after-hours code, and a checklist. "Count the cigarettes and the gift cards," she said. "If anything feels off, call me even at 3. The sliding doors sighed shut. Nora finished the mop, set the motion-equipped cameras to record, and walked the aisles once, wishing to keep them honest. It was aisle 7 where she first noticed something wrong. A small orange price sticker, sliding along the laminate floor as if pulled by a breeze. It stopped near the chocolate display. In large, neat letters someone had printed, "MAYA for $4.99. Nora picked it up. The glue was warm. She pressed it into her palm and, on impulse, slid it into her jacket pocket. At 1:19 the lights in aisle 12 flickered. The intercom chimed a pre-recorded after-hours greeting that night sounded oddly thin. "Thank you for staying at Holloway's," it said. Shelves closed. Prices final. The feed on one of the security monitors showed a delay in the freezer doors, reflection shapes standing in glass that weren't in the aisles themselves. She could have called Evelyn. She could have left then. Instead, Nora went to aisle 12. The store's layout had always been a little wrong. Seasonal displays stowed in odd places. Wrong barcodes. But tonight the aisles rearranged around her like a thought revising itself. Products appeared where they hadn't been a second ago. Her handheld scanner, when she waved it across a bag of rice, blinked an instruction: "Do not remove." Magazines on the rack all had the same headline in different fonts: "Found, never left." Near the frozen section a door fogged from the inside, and for an instant a silhouette pressed palms to the glass. Nora knocked. Nothing answered but the soft settling sounds of a mannequin or cardboard. She moved toward the stockroom, where the smell of bleach and cardboard mixed with something metallic and sweet, like a coin left in the rain. In the racks, price tags were arranged in dense columns as if someone had been labeling every dream. A fresh sticker hung from a rack like a label on a coat. Nora $0. She laughed once, a brittle sound, and reached for it. The letters seemed to swim. From somewhere the intercom clicked. "Stock complete," the voice said. "Do not purchase." Pallets of canned peaches rattled as if applauding. A whisper breathed past her. "Stay." Nora moved to the service corridor. The back exit had a heavy bar, usually stuck without Evelyn's key. Tonight the bar moved a hair, then jammed. Outside, in the loading alley, the sky had an impossible bruise-green tinge. The dumpsters leaned like sentries. When she looked back, the strip windows showed the aisles full of figures made of packaging, people with faces from cereal boxes, eyes from glossy ads, holding shopping lists with names. Something tapped the glass behind her in a 3-knock pattern she remembered from a camp years ago. "Home. We need stock," the store said then, not from any speaker but from the world itself. The voice had the flaxen texture of price tags being peeled off. "Inventory must be complete." On a monitor, a small figure hunched on a conveyor belt. Nora ran. On screen, the child's face was turned away, hood up, shoulders narrow. She recognized that face, the woman who had come weeks ago for a single candle, the face that had once handed her a scrap reading, "Keep your EYES." The conveyor's music, an elevator loop all night, slowed until the notes fell like thick syrup. "You can't," Nora started, but the store answered with quiet logic. "We make sure nothing leaves. We label. We preserve." Preserve, the word rearranged itself in her mind. This place didn't kill people in a dramatic way. It organized them, folded them into its catalog. It turned them into inventory, labeled and placed where they could be found on a shelf, behind the deli glass, in a freezer door reflection. Shelf life, not death but permanent availability. She clutched the sticker in her pocket. Someone had scrawled a date beneath the barcode this year, but a month that had not happened. Under it, in small type, the label read, "Shelf life, tonight remaining." Panic is a practical chemical. Nora thought of her mother and the rent envelope. 2 nights. She checked the staff phone, dead. She walked the store methodically, as if finding the right rack could unweave the thing that had tagged her. At the front end, a cart rolled out by itself. The child from the monitor sat inside, small hands clutching a receipt. The cart's base was lined with warm slips, names of recent customers. The child lifted their head. Their eyes were wet and very real. In their lap, a single word on paper. "Look, you worked here," the store said gently. "You fold. You label. You understand value." Nora's throat felt like a belt tightened. "2 nights, she said. "That sticker, what does it mean?" "1 night has been subtracted," the reply came. "You counted yesterday. You made the sweaters tidy. 1 night remains." She tried to bargain. "Take someone else." "We cannot take what is not claimable," the store said. "We take what works here." The cart moved toward the stockroom as if pulled. The child offered Nora a receipt and dropped it into her hand. It was warm still. Her fingers closed around it like a purchase she hadn't intended to make. Printed on it were 3 words: "Return policy. Nitrogen monoxide refunds." They reached the back rack. A box was opened and inside lay a packaged bundle swaddled in newspaper and plastic. A tag on the package already bore her name, a date she didn't recognize, a barcode that hummed. She could have resisted. She could have torn out and set fire to fluorescent trust. In the end, she reached and took the tag off the rack and draped it over the swaddled parcel. The lid closed like a sliding freezer. The sound was small and decisive. Someone in the bakery flipped the closed sign, and a bell rang. Nora's last thought was clear and oddly domestic. She had always kept her eye on the labels. At dawn, Evelyn unlocked the back door, coffee in hand. She walked into the stockroom, tall racks and pallet shadows, and didn't see the new package in the corner. She made a note in the day's log and straightened a display. Later, a customer at lunch asked the deli worker Nora's name. The slip the clerk handed them read, "Patron Nora assigned by aisle staff." Nora's mother opened the rent envelope that week and found an extra tucked inside. She cried and blamed luck and the government and big stores. When the new night shift worker came the following week, earnest-eyed and exhausted, a memo lay under the staff roster. Shelf life procedures, staffing required for after-hours inventory checks. It said nothing about tickets that slid across linoleum or the green bruise over the loading alley. Hallways kept humming. Fluorescent light evened everything into the same cheap color. Price tags fluttered like dead leaves in the ducts. The freezers held their reflections steady. The little cardboard people stood between aisles, faces folded from cereal boxes, holding lists. The store wasn't malevolent in a monstrous way. It was a machine of tidy preservation, a living ledger that found and filed those who brushed its aisles at night. Deep in a back corner, between seasonal displays and off-brand cereal, a package lay labeled with a barcode and a date and a terse promise. Keep frozen. Do not restock. Outside, the city traded in its usual dissonances. People bought and returned and passed over coupons. Hallways continued to catalog and contain, to fold moments into neat, labeled stacks. And in a pocket somewhere, ink warmed by a body's heat rearranged into small fish letters that would one day settle into a shelf tag, become a name in the inventory. Price check. 1 human. Shelf life. Indefinite. To support this channel, please like this video and subscribe the channel.